Hi, thanks for checking our channel. Here's going to be, I don't know if it'll be a repair video or not, we're going to try. This is a Blitzer, Zareba Blitzer, whatever, they're both same company, same style. But it is a 25 mile unit, which, whatever mileage rating it is, or whatever, I hate the mileage rating on stuff, but it's a 1 joule output unit, so on the smaller side of things. But we worked on this thing like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and 2007, we put in a, I called it a supplemental transformer in it, because there's no more parts being offered for Zareba. Back in August of 2023, the parent company, in their wise wisdom, decided and stated in this letter nationwide to all the distributors and repair centers that as of November 1st of 2023 that there would be no more parts being offered for their units, boards, capacitors, transformers, everything was not going to be offered anymore as of November 1st, 2023. Now we're 2024, 2025 time frame, so a year and a few months after. Fixing their stuff is almost impossible. Not almost, not 100%, but it just depends on what's wrong with it. Alright, well here's, so last go around, somebody's been in here. We put a transformer in this thing, but they moved it around on us. But the note says does nothing. So this has got the original board from 2007, the old school board, which were very, very well made boards because it was old school electronics and it was better quality 20 years ago. So I'm not going to plug it in yet. I'm going to do some testing first. So first thing I want to do and test is the primary of the transformer, primary side of the transformer, which put on ohms, put on the lowest setting, go across the input side of the transformer. There's no polarity, it should be 0.1 to 1 ohm. So reading 0.4, so the primary is fine. We can go ahead and we can check the capacitor real quick. This is a 7.5 microfarad capacitor. So it's reading 4.7 out of 7.5, so it's lost about 60% or so of its potential charge or whatever, so that should be changed, but it's not low enough, I think, to where it won't, to where it will shut it down. So let's pull this board out. Come on. Come on! The customer thinks, because we worked on this thing less than a year and a half ago, he thinks it's under warranty. We cover our warranty as an 18-month repair warranty, so we don't cover the whole entire unit. We cover what we did to it for a year and a half, not the whole entire thing. So it's like taking your car to a mechanic to get worked on, and it's a 8-year-old car, 10, 12-year-old car, and you put a, I don't know, new engine in it, or new transmission in it, or whatever, and then you put like, oh, we give you, 1 year or 10,000 mile warranty on this new engine. I'm just giving an example, and then like a year and 9 months later, it's not working right, and take it in. Well, your engine's fine, sir, but your transmission's shot. Well, shouldn't it be under warranty? No, the engine's under warranty. The transmission's not. So I've had people bitch at me about that. Well, you got 18-month warranty on it. You should have 18-month warranty. Yeah, 18-month repair warranty. Read the note on it. I don't cover the whole thing for 18 months. I cover what we did to it for 18 months. Well, I didn't see that. Well, I told you over the phone for starters, and then it's on your invoice. It's on my website. It's everywhere where I post things. So now, what we're going to do, if it's shut down all the way, there's a bunch of things to shut this down, but the easiest thing it could be is this little thermal fuse, which it's indeed bad. So we got to change that. So soldering arm's powered up already, so don't have to worry about warming it up. We'll check all the diodes, because they can sometimes fail. That's good. Oh, that diode's bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark, put a little dot next to each thing. A little line that I need to change. We'll check this diode here. That one's good. Good. Bad. Alright, there's two small diodes right there. That one's good. That one's good. Let's check these SCRs. I always forget which way this meter goes. Nothing there, but it's reverse our leads. Let's do it this way. Okay. SCRs are good. So I think we got a bad diode and a bad thermal deal. All right, so let's get the solder braid out. Alright, so we got two spots we can desolder on. Pull that thermal fuse off there. Ow, hot. Oh. My solder iron's been on for a while, and it has an automatic shut off or whatever after you haven't used it for a while, and it dropped down to under 400 degrees. I was like, why is this thing sucking the solder off? Not hot enough. It needs to be about 700, 800 degrees to get that solder hot enough to melt. So I'm waiting for it to warm up a little bit more. See if we can. There it goes. Maybe 600 degrees is all it needs. But it's warm enough that it's pulling off there either way. So that's what's important. Alright, ooh, look at the corrosion. And then we'll, ow. Diode is, okay, diode's right here. Come on. A little bit, ow, get over there. A little bit more on the back side here. There it goes. Come on. Get off there. Alright, I think I've got the big diodes. I know I bought some. Yeah, well, I bought some more, but I still got my leftover pack of them still here, so I'm going to use that before I open up my new ones. So this is the big diode we're going to put in there. And then we need a thermal shutdown deal. I'll use a little bit different one than they used. So this is the one we're going to stick on there. It's a thermal fuse. I don't remember what size it is. It's because they're kind of rated in amperage and temperature, not really voltage. Alright, so we'll pull... Oh, the diode already fell out. Thank you. Now we'll pull out Alright, there's still a little solder on this one here. Just a little bit on this back side, just a smidge. Come on. God dang it. Stupid cheap boards. Solder pad just freaking come off the board. God, I can't even see the hole there. So lay it on like that. Pull the lead, just get all the slack out of it. We'll put this diode in. They even have a diagram of which way it goes in. Because diodes kind of have a polarity. They're not really polarity, but a forward or reverse bias, what they call it. It's like a one-way check valve. One allows power to go one way, so if you put it in the wrong way, power can't go the way it's supposed to go. So they're used to force power in a direction, or most times they're used to protect other things. Alright, so now I got to fix this wire. You need to, since the solder pad's really no good, I'm going to solder a wire to this one and jump it up to there. I need to find some little wire here. I like to use, we're going to snip off what we don't need. Anymore. We'll snip off just a little bit of that. Don't need that much sticking out. And then we'll take this red wire. We're going to tin the wires both on the red wire here and this lead that's sticking through the case here. We're going to tin them, which means just coat them with solder and clean up the crap on my soldering iron. Add a little solder here. Hold on to the little lead and add a little solder, add a little bit more solder. It should just stick right to it, which it did. And we're gonna add some solder there. And we should just heat these both up together like that. Once it cools off enough and that should harden up, and I'll stretch this wire, straighten it out, and I'll run it all the way up there. Snip that. Strip a little bit off, don't need much. Solder. I'm going to add a little solder here just to reflow it. Make sure there's plenty there in a good spot. Coat that with some solder. Okay, do this quick so my finger doesn't get burned. Ow! God, that heat travels right up that wire pretty quick. So you hold on there as long as you can until it cools off. Okay. Let's hope that this fixes it. So usually, just leave it zip tied. I'm not going to jack with it. Just leave it be. That. We'll tighten these up. All right. Let's plug it in, and see if it goes to working. 1, 2, 3. There it goes. Okay, so let's test the output here. Oh yeah, 10,000 volts plus on it. So only thing I got to do now, I got to come across another, I got to go get another capacitor, either put it right here in the same exact spot with the same setup if I got one of these. If I don't, I'll put one, like I'll mount it over here, use these wires and solder them there, I'll tuck it up over in this area and like glue it in or something like that. So, but but electrically this thing's working fine now. We just got to change the capacitor to the right size now, because reading like 4 point something out of 7.5, so it's, well, like 40% or something like that of it. Anyways, thanks for checking out our channel here. If you got a fence charger like this to take a look at, be happy to work on it for you. And until next time, we'll see you guys later on.